major educational institution and our numbers have been growing significantly over the past 10 years. And we'd reached the stage where we needed much more space, and we also needed to consolidate our facilities because we wanted to have a space that was multi-purpose. This facility that we have here, in addition to being able to provide small classrooms, opens up to take more than 300 people, which is not only good for the museum and our functions, but is a good use for the community as well. NAB have been a corporate sponsor of the museum since 2006, and in 2012 they made the decision to substantially increase their support to the museum by making a major donation to our capital appeal, and that donation culminated in this magnificent facility.
The Education Resource Centre is a really amazing space. We get to do a lot of really interesting education. We can move the walls. That means that we can educate large groups, we can do small intimate discussions. This space is important because it brings together people who want to talk about history, who want to honour the victims, who want to take opportunities to encourage critical thought.
We've had so many diverse and interesting functions, and the space has worked really well. We've had various individual speakers, book launches, and we've had a panel discussion. We're a cultural hub in that we have interesting events and events that speak to the wider community.
We're not only a library, but we're a repository of all Holocaust-related material. So we have the personal testimonies, unpublished personal testimonies, academic volumes, we have audio-visual material, we have newspaper clippings, anything to do with the Holocaust and Australian Jewish history we aim to collect. The Shoah testimonies, which are now called the Visual History Archive, were set up by Steven Spielberg after he'd made the film Schindler's List. It was really important to get the remaining survivors' testimonies on film. They're of great importance when people are doing family history research as well as Holocaust research.
The Yad Vashem questions, and they are part of the Learning Centre at Yad Vashem, are a number of iconic questions which deal with specific questions related to the Holocaust. Examples of these were, why didn't the Allies bomb Auschwitz? Or where was God during the Holocaust? Other than Auschwitz, we are the only museum in the world where they have agreed to let these questions in this Learning Centre facility be available. This is one of the kind of crown jewels at Yad Vashem. They put a lot of effort into it. They have a fantastic resource. It's really a sign of the very close working relationship that we have with Yad Vashem that they agreed to do this. It's important to learn about the Holocaust because there are a number of lessons that have contemporary relevance yet today. And why we are teaching about it is so that it should not happen again to any people.
The Education and Resource Centre facilities are state-of-the-art, and the expansion of this space has allowed us to offer our programs to corporates and professionals in a way that before we could never have done. We're so lucky here at the museum that we have such a dedicated group of Holocaust survivors who come in on a daily basis and share their testimony with groups of people. I've seen day in and day out the transformation that happens when people have sat side by side with a living witness to genocide. It's really an extraordinary experience that nobody ever forgets.
It was interesting, and it was also heart-profounding and wrenching to hear the story of a young man who had to grow up in this time and had to go on such a hard journey. You really empathised and sympathised with Egon as you heard his story.
The future of the museum is really exciting. We're going to have more people coming here doing lots of different types of education. We've always had a great school student program. We'll continue to have a great school student program. We've always had really interesting education with nurses and police. We will continue to have that, and we'll grow into other professional groups as well. The more we can bring people together to reflect about history, to reflect about our society today, the more hope we have of building a better world.